Thanks for tuning in to PFC Sports Talk. This is MaxTheMan. And tonight, this is the second installment of the newly called Double Dimebag podcast. What that's going to be is going to be 10 pro picks, 10 college picks, and we'll see how we do. Let's go ahead and blow the intro off here, and we'll get started.
Sports Talk, without a doubt.
It's MaxTheMan, reppin' PSC Sports Talk. Back in school, I was a super jock. Now I get my sports news from Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk. The best rapper all time is Tupac. Just a middle-aged dude consumed with sports. As a dirty fucking smoker, I smoke Newports. When it's hot outside, I'm rocking Jorts. At the beach last week, I built a fort. Covering the NFL and the MLB. Hall of Famer, PG, the CFB. Went back to school to earn more pay. I'm tired of the struggle day to day. Now lighten up like Tommy John, be it a vape, a joint, a pipe or a bomb. Cause this train is about to get rolling. Blows my mind, KD be trolling.
All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get started here. Last week in college, here we go. So last week in college, it was 5-5. Not great, but 50%, not bad. So let's go and get started here. This week, first game we're going to look at is Illinois at Nebraska. Nebraska's favored by 7. Nebraska looks tough this year. We're going to go ahead and go with Nebraska. Lay the points. Think they're going to go ahead and do it at home. They could win the Big Ten this year. Who knows? I really think they might have a chance to be a playoff team. Next game we're looking at here is Baylor at Colorado. Colorado's giving up a point. As I went on my little rant last week about Colorado, they did come through last week, beat Colorado State. This week, I think Baylor's going to get them, though. Deion's living on borrowed time, in my opinion. And again, once he finally loses, I'll speak on it a little bit more. But for now, say that they're going to lose to Baylor. Take Baylor on the point. Our next game we have here is UCLA at number 16 LSU. LSU's giving up 22.5 points. UCLA has not looked good so far this year. LSU's doing great. We'll go ahead and go and take LSU. I think there's an error there. Moving right along. We have Georgia Tech at Louisville. Louisville's giving up 10.5 to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's got the magic, man. Go ahead and take Georgia Tech in the 10.5 points. Next, we have Miami of Ohio at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's giving up 26.5 points. They scored 66 last week against Purdue. Miami of Ohio is not in the same company as Purdue, I don't think. So we'll go ahead and lay that 22.5 with Notre Dame. Next, we have USC giving up, 6.5 points at number 18 Michigan. USC's a buzzsaw. We're going to go ahead and drop the 6.5 and go ahead and go with USC. West Coast love, baby. Next, we have number 12, Utah at number 16, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's giving up 2.5 points. Take Utah and the 2.5 points. Utah's got a solid program. Always play some good defense. I love Mike Gundy, like I said last week, but again, West Coast love, man. Old Pac-10, man. So next we have number 6, Tennessee at number 16, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's getting 7.5 points in the game at home. Take the Sooners, man. I know Tennessee's a good team, but I don't see them beating Oklahoma by 7. I think Tennessee's going to win, but I think Oklahoma will keep it close. So I take Oklahoma in the points in this one. Next, we have East Carolina at Liberty. Liberty's giving up 6.5 points. Take Liberty at home, 6.5. East Carolina is decent, but I don't think you're going to beat Liberty. Liberty's got a good program going on down there with Freeze. Next, we have Northwestern at Washington. Washington's giving up 10.5 points. take Northwestern and the 10.5 points and run. Washington can't even beat Washington State. They're not even in a conference. Excuse me. All right, so now we will go to Dimebag number 2, and that is the NFL picks. 10 NFL picks for the week. Last week we only did 4 picks and did not do so well. Thank you, Seattle, for getting a push at least, so we didn't go over. First game we have is the Thursday night game. That is the New England Patriots at the Jets. The Jets giving up 7.5 points. New England's good, but I think Aaron Rodgers gets it going at home, and Jets lay the 7.5. Next we have Atlanta next we have Atlanta at Kansas City. Kansas City's giving up 5 points. I think there's issues in Kansas City. I think Kelsey and Mahomes have got issues, and we'll talk about that once Kansas City maybe actually loses the game. But for now, go ahead and lay the 5 and take Kansas City at home. And he doesn't lose at home, and he's a great coach. So next we have Jacksonville at Buffalo. Buffalo's laying 6. Again, Buffalo's a wagon. Jacksonville is just not consistent. Trevor Lawrence is not worth what he's getting paid. I like the kid, but he's just not very good in the pros so far. He's average. Maybe get you to the playoffs every other year, but he's not consistently going to get you to the playoffs. So run with Josh Allen. He's the man. Next, we have Washington at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's dropping a touchdown and a half. Take Cincinnati. They need the win. They're 0-2. Joey Burrow looked good last week. He just had the one bad play. So go ahead and take Cincinnati minus the 7.5. Got Miami at Seattle. Seattle's dropping 6.5. Take the Seahawks. Miami's obviously didn't have a quarterback. Tua is out for at least 4 weeks. Hopefully he takes a little more time than that, or whatever he needs. Whatever the doctor says he needs, that's what he needs to do. That's where I'll keep that. But this week, go ahead and take the Seahawks and drop the 6.5. Next, we have Chicago at Indy. Indy is favored by a point. Take Chicago and the point. I don't trust Richardson. Chicago hasn't looked great, but neither is Indy. Next, we have the Ravens at the Cowboys. It's a pick-up game. Ravens really need this win, but it's hard to bet against Dak at home, especially losing 2 games in a row at home. I don't see it happening. Take the Cowboys. Next, we have Green Bay at Tennessee. Tennessee is dropping 2.5 points. I know there's still going with Malik Henry. But at the same time, I heard Love did practice this week. So regardless of who's playing quarterback, it doesn't matter because Will Levis is playing quarterback for Tennessee. That's all we really need to know. So we're going to take the Packers and the points and run with it. Next, we have the Eagles. They're dropping 2.5 to the red-hot New Orleans Saints. Take the Saints and the points all day long. Until the Saints don't score 40, you can't bet against them, especially getting points. Next, we have Detroit, who's giving up 3 points to Arizona at Arizona. Take Arizona on the points, man. Kyler Murray, as he's healthy right now, is running around like a little mouse out there, and nobody can catch him. Making big plays, making explosives. Got the ball to Marvin Harrison for a couple tuds last week. Arizona's tough, especially at home. So go ahead and take them in the points. And hopefully this week will be better than last week. So appreciate you tuning in again. Again, this is MaxTheMan, PSC Sports, on the Double Dimebag podcast. Check you next week. Deuces.